Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Today, Guru Maharaj is not available to give class. So I requested Radha Vinodini Mataji, her praise Radha Vinodini Mataji. So today's class is given by her praise Radha Vinodini Mataji. And the topic is Kali Yuga, about Kali Yuga and Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 4th chapter, 17 and 18 verses. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for accepting my request and coming on the call to give to enlighten us on this topic. You can please take over, Mataji. And Mataji, I'll make you co-host. You can share. You want to share, or I want to?
Yes, I will share. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So first of all, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. So, as Srimati Mataji said, we will speak about Srimad Bhagavatam today. And just a moment, and I will share. Yeah. So today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 4th chapter, verses 17 and 18. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So the verse is Bhautikanam cha bhavanam Shakti rasam cha tatkritam Ashratadanan nisatvan Durmedan rasitayushaha Durbhagamscha janan vikshya Munir divyena chakshusha Sarvavarnashramanam yad Tadyauhitam amogadrik. Srila Prabhupada's translation. The great sage, who was fully equipped in knowledge, could see through his transcendental vision the deterioration of everything, materia, due to the influence of the age. He could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life and would be impatient due to lack of goodness. Thus, he contemplated for the welfare of man and in all statuses and orders of life. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The unmanifested forces of time are so powerful that they reduce all matter to oblivion in due course. In Kali Yuga, the last millennium of around 4 millenniums, the power of all material objects deteriorates by the influence of time. In this age, the duration of the material body of the people in general is much reduced, and so is the memory. The action of matter has also not so much the land does not produce food grains in the same proportions as it did in other ages. The cow does not give as much milk as it used to give formerly. The production of vegetables and fruits is less than before. As such, all living beings, both men and animals, do not have sumptuous, nourishing food. Due to want of so many necessities of life, naturally, the duration of life is reduced, the memory is short, intelligence is meager, mutual dealings are full of hypocrisy, and so on. The great sage Vyasadeva could see this by his transcendental vision. As an astrologer can see the future fate of a man, or an astronomer can foretell the solar and lunar eclipses, those liberated souls who can see through the scriptures can foretell the future of all mankind. They can see this due to their sharp vision of spiritual attainment. And all such transcendentalists who are naturally devotees of the Lord are always eager to render welfare service to the people in general. They are the real friends of the people in general, not the so-called public leaders who are unable to see what is going to happen 5 minutes ahead. In this age, the people in general, as well as their so-called leaders, are all unlucky fellows, faithless in spiritual knowledge and influenced by the age of Kali. They are always disturbed by various diseases. For example, in the present age, there are so many TB patients and TB hospitals, but formerly this was not so because the time was not so unfavorable. The unfortunate men of this age are always reluctant to give a reception to the transcendentalists who are representatives of Srila Vyasadeva and selfless workers always busy in planning something which may help everyone in all statuses and orders of life. The greatest philanthropists are those transcendentalists who represent the mission of Vyasa, Narada, Madhva, Chaitanya, Rupa, Saraswati, etc. They are all one and the same. The personalities may be different, but the aim of the mission is one and the same, namely to deliver the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Te Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Pura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramani Visvamiti Namine. So I have to admit, all the time I'm afraid. I was afraid that sometime I would have to speak about Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga is quite a disappointing topic, all about hardships and stuff. And obviously, we like to speak more about inspiring things. And I was thinking when I got this verse for one morning class in Hungary to speak about it, and I was started to think actually if Kali Yuga is that bad, because we also hear all those benedictions which we can get in Kali Yuga, and actually only in Kali Yuga. So how to actually see Kali Yuga? And after some time, I just realized that many times we speak about the previous ages like those are nice ages, and it would be so nice to live in those ages. But the reality is that material world is always the material world, and always will be. And we know that the material world is full of suffering and full of illusion. So Kali Yuga or not, it will be the same always. So Satya Yuga might seem better in a material sense, and also it's easier to practice spiritual life. But also, there are good things and bad things. And just to make this presentation complete, just to start a little bit about how Maya works, because to see what is the result of Maya and what is the result of Kali Yuga, and how we should approach this. So whenever we are in the material world, and when we are not in total perfect Krishna consciousness, then we usually are under the influence of Maya. And when it's about Maya, Maya Devi has two different departments, let's say departments. One is Jiva Maya, and the other is Guna Maya. So these departments work in different ways. So Jiva Maya is it has also two functions. One is that it covers our original knowledge about our original self. So basically, it means that we forget who we are. So, like there are these people with amnesia, and but when there is this emptiness of knowledge, it has to be filled with something. So the other function of Maya, this Jiva Maya, is that it fills this empty space with false identification. And the other department, Guna Maya, it basically contains the three modes of nature. And we know when Krishna speaks about the modes of nature in Bhagavad Gita, that they just toss and push us into different directions. And we think that we are the doers, but actually these modes of natures make us do things. So that is our position in the material world. Whether it's Kali Yuga or Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, is the same all the time. So in Satya Yuga, for example, there were different circumstances. And one main difference is that the demoniac tendencies, let's say like this, demoniac tendencies and the saintly tendencies were much more separated. So in the beginning, demons and others lived on different planets. Like, when it was the pastime with Hiranyakashipu. So the demons lived on totally different planets. But later on, the demons came to this same planet. So, for example, you can see that Ravana on Lanka lived on the same planet as Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra didn't have to travel to a different planet to get to Ravana. And later on, we can see that the demons were in the same family with the saintly devotees, like the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So they were the same family and totally different in nature. And in the Kali Yuga, we can see, at least I can see in myself, that these demoniac tendencies and other devotee type of tendencies can reside in the same person. And that's one thing what makes it so hard to practice spiritual life in the Kali Yuga, that we have different impulses. And it's not that, okay, I travel to a different continent or another planet and then I got rid of all these tendencies, because all these tendencies are in the mind. And we can see that here, Srila Prabhupada mentions a few, actually the verse also mentions a few symptoms of Kali Yuga. And one thing is that our lifespan is shorter. And it's very interesting that, our life is shorter. We don't have so much time to practice devotional life, to get knowledge. And we think that, now we have such a nice civilization, and we have good scholars, and it's a great culture we have. But it's very, very interesting that that actually is just the opposite. Culture is actually also deteriorating. We think that, we have so many books now, so many different kinds of music and stuff, and this is culture. But actually, real culture is already there in the behavior. And in that sense, we are very much behind what people in previous ages had. And also, although these so-called scientists, Srila Prabhupada very much used to say it like this, these so-called scientists, they say that they practice science, but actually they don't even have so much time to properly learn, to properly train themselves. Much of what they have is just mental speculation. And for some reason, in this age, we believe what they say, almost everything. And the problem is that many times they see some good stuff too. For example, I remember I saw one article on the internet which said that the scientists discovered that those people who are religious, they are more peaceful, more satisfied, and actually more happy. So they can see these symptoms, but what happens? The conclusion of the article was that, okay, how to use it, these tendencies, to just leave God out of the picture and use all the other stuff so that people can be more happy. Also, Chitti Shakti Mataji gave a class in Hungary a few weeks or months ago, and she mentioned that in healthcare, doctors noticed that how beneficial it is for health when people meditate. So what's the conclusion? Let's use meditation, which is nice, but also leaving God out of the picture. But the problem is that all these, religiousness and meditation, it's connected to a system, connected to God. I would say it's like saying that, in the desert, like in Egypt and other countries, there is not enough water. They don't have water to drink, to water the plants, and it would be so nice to have them. So what to do? I just go out to the kitchen and I can see that, there is this tap. I just open it and water comes out. So what to do? I just took off this tap and bring it to Egypt and open it, and there will be water. But the problem is that this tap is connected to a system. And if it's not connected to the system, it won't work the same way. Maybe a few drops of water are left when I arrive to Egypt, but still, how long it lasts, so it won't work the same way. So this is how scientists think, actually, that they are satisfied with the superficial things and just so much against accepting that these facilities are connected to God, and without God, without Krishna, these won't work the same way. And that's one problem. So this is one modern type of problem. The other is that all of these scientists' goal is to have more sense gratification, more better, more higher quality, as they would say. But the problem is that we can already see it, that statistics don't, that those people who have better sense gratification, they would be happier. Actually, it's just the opposite, because in the Western world, the statistics show that it's a very high percentage of anxiety, of depression, suicides. So what's the problem? And some time ago, I saw a scientist, a psychologist's video on YouTube, and she spoke about that that actually all living organisms endeavor to have some kind of balance. And as she said, this is called homeostasis. And we can experience this in the workings of our brain. So for example, when we experience something nice, like eating a piece of chocolate, so some dopamine is released, is produced in the brain, and dopamine is it makes us feel good, but also it makes us motivated and desire for things. And but as she said, at the same time, when there is this dopamine which makes us feel good, there is just some kind of similar quantity of bad type of energy, which actually manifests in the way that there is some kind of bad feeling too, that okay, I want one more piece. So the body endeavors to have some balance. And as she said that in our age, we have now so many facilities to satisfy our senses. She didn't say it like this, but this is how we used to say. So it's the brain has to deal with so much dopamine, which is it's not designed for this. And there is this other impulse with this negative stuff, and this will cause all this thing that the stress, anxiety, depression, and this is what we cannot handle. So actually the problem is that there is too much comfort and enjoyment in our life. Obviously this is on the material level. So spiritual is a different stuff. And but what happens if there is this negative impulse which makes us eat one more chocolate? And if we just wait and not give in to this desire, then this impulse will just go away after some time. But the problem is that many times we choose the other. So these are one kind of symptoms of our present age. The other thing is, as Srila Prabhupada says, that everything loses its value. And Guru Maharaj used to mention that previously people paid with gold. Later on, they paid with metal, and then with paper. And now, with all these bank accounts, we just believe that we paid or others paid to us. So there is nothing actually behind this whole thing. So we can see this when it's about material type of things. But the problem is that immaterial type of things also work the same way. And one of these is that the Varnashram system is also previously worked out, but somehow it doesn't function the same way. And it's an even bigger problem than paying with gold or paying with paper, because we just don't know what is our nature and what should I do to be satisfied, even on a material level. And two things are present in this problem. One is that all these varnas are totally mixed. No one knows what is their nature. And the other is that even if we knew what is our nature, we are not trained. We are not properly trained. And I've listened to a class from Urmila Mataji, and she spoke about the problems caused by when one type of varna follows the duties of another type of varna. And she mentioned that one difference between these varnas is that, for example, a Shudra, he has to focus on the object before him. For example, just carving out something from wood, or making a sculpture or something like that. And he doesn't really have to have an overview of many kind of things. So he's just occupied with something which is right in front of his eyes. But the Vaishya is different. He has to see, he has to overview a full system, like, you know, cow protection, or the full system of agriculture, or you know, some kind of system he has to see. But for example, a Shudra won't be able to overview a system, because he's just not it's not his nature. And Kshatriyas have to have a vision about even bigger system of different systems, like they have to manage agriculture, healthcare, and, you know, education and stuff together, and redistribute let's say, the money. And when it's about Brahmanas, they can see the whole system with even spiritual principles and the absolute truth. So obviously there is very, very different understandings in these varnas. And Urmila Mataji mentioned a few examples what type of problems can come when someone does the duty of another varna. So, for example, for Vaishyas, they have to produce things, and quantity is very important. So that's how these fast food chains and you know, these plastic spoons and all these things, that everything is done by machines. This can be a symptom of this. And when a Shudra wants to do the duties of a Kshatriya, then because he cannot really see the whole system, he will be just lost in bureaucracy and creating rules and stuff. And we can also see this type of tendencies in politics. And so we could continue. I just continue with the other topics, because I don't want to run out of time. So another type of problem is that when varnas are not properly trained, it can happen that, you know, it's comfortable to accept the rights of one varna, but not accepting the duties, because we have to make endeavor and like that, but the rights are comfortable, and you know, we like these kind of things. So it's also important. It would be important to properly train the different varnas. So we have all these problems in this age, and we can see the symptoms. Another problem with this age is that there is conflicts, there are conflicts, division, hypocrisy, and I suppose the best to examine this is social media. And we can see that most people want to show a false picture of themselves. And it's like, you know, we all the time see these celebrities happily smiling on social media, but later on, many of them admit that they have depression. But you know, their smile is just glowing like anything. So, and many of us also do the same. And you know, there are these pictures beautifully with beautiful makeup, and I remember I saw one article about how to have a certain type of pose, not to show how big your belly is or something like that, you know. So these fitness people have different positions, so they will be like someone with a perfect body, but in other positions they don't seem to be like that. And also, if you are on social media, probably all of you saw that there are just so many arguments which are really, really disappointing. And the problem is that on internet, you can do it without showing your face, totally anonym. And just lately, I saw this quote that social media has made too many of you comfortable. Social media has made too many of you comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the mouth for it. So it's a bit rude way of expressing what happens, but it actually shows that you know, if there is one person right in front of you and you say rude things, you have to bear the consequences. But when everybody is just behind the computer, we think that there will be no consequences. Actually, we know by knowing transcendental knowledge that there is always there will be consequences, because law of karma cannot be avoided. But it also creates this impression. So all of this is so impersonal. We are not focused. So, you know, if we just go out on the streets in a city, and so many things are happening at the same time. So we have to pay attention if public transport, you know, bus is coming or not to be hit by a car. There are so many advertisements and so many things. And our attention is diverted to at least 100. And there are different ways, 100 type of things to pay attention to at the same time. So, and you know, we are looking for being able to focus and concentrate when we are doing our meditation. It's just difficult. And I remember that once I was copying on the computer some files for my parents, and these were big files, and you know, I just started 3 or 4 of them at the same time. And after some time, I just realized that if I copy one file at a time, it will be less time to do this copying than when I do all 4 at the same time, because then the computer has to switch between the tasks, and the memory is filled with more things. And it's the same, just the same when we are focusing so many tasks at the same time, and just have to switch between them. Oh, okay, this I have to do this now, but I will do that in the evening, and tomorrow I have to do that other thing. And our attention is just everywhere at the same time. So it's difficult to be focused. And so we can see that Kali Yuga is quite disappointing, but at the same time, we get also some benedictions. And one thing is that the process is easier than it was for in the previous yugas. And one verse which shows this, that it's from Canto 1, chapter 18, verse 7. Maharaj Parikshit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. So this verse tells us that in Kali Yuga, when we just think of something sinful, it doesn't have a reaction. But if we think of something beneficial, something saintly, or how to say, so something auspicious, then it will have the good effect, even if we didn't do it, just desire to do it. So this is something which wasn't there in the previous yugas. And another benediction is obviously the holy name. So this is a very famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from the material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So these are very, very big benedictions. Actually, if we think about it, it's amazing. And I will read a third thing. It's from Gaur Govinda Maharaj's book, this Shuddhanama Bhajan, chanting the pure name. And in one chapter, he writes about the Taraka Brahmanam of the different yugas. And this Taraka Brahmanam is the mantra which gives liberation. Once I asked Guru Maharaj about this because I was really shocked at the first time that, oh, there is a mantra for other ages also. And he said that, yes, there is. It's just in other ages, these mantras supported the Yuga Dharmas of those ages. And in our age, all the other processes support the chanting of this Yuga's Taraka Brahmanam, this mantra. So Gaur Govinda Maharaj wrote that in Satya Yuga, this is completely Aishwarya Para, Narayana Para. In Satya Yuga, there is only Shanta and Dasya mellow. In Treta Yuga, there is Shanta, Dasya with just a glimpse of Sakya. And in the Dvapara Yuga, it becomes more Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, and Vatsalya. Then, after completely surrendering, Jagadisha Raksha Nirashrayam Mam, and completely taking shelter at the lotus feet of Jagadisha, it is complete surrender. So actually, he mentions that, I suppose he wrote this about the mantras of those ages, that not so many rasas are available. And the Hare Krishna mantra opens up the gate to Madhurya Rasa. So actually what we can achieve is also more than it was available for previous ages. So to summarize all this, I would say that we could see that the circumstances are quite disappointing, but we get also many benediction. So these yugas are a little bit like the weather, that there are different. Oh, sorry, I don't remember the word. So there is, springtime, autumn, summer, winter. And we can see that all of these have different qualities. But if we know that, okay, winter time, it's really cold outside. So I will take a warm sweater and also a big coat with me, and I properly dress up and go outside like that, then I won't feel the cold that much. Or during summertime, people used to go to the beach and just swim a little bit because that's nice during hot weather. When during springtime there can be a lot of rain, so we take the umbrella, and all the time we see that winter time it's cold outside, so it could be bad, but also winter time is the time for peace and rest. I would say peaceful rest. So there are good things and bad, or I would say comfortable and not so comfortable things at different times. So it's also something similar with all these yugas, that there are things which are, how to say, comfortable or makes our spiritual life easier, but also there are some kind of difficulties, and we should just utilize what we get in the age which we live in. So we can see that what are the difficulties. So try to avoid those, and also utilize what we got. What is the strength of this age, I would say. And we have this free will, so we can choose anytime. Sometimes if we say that, oh, okay, but I have a bad karma and I cannot do things, but bad karma creates a situation in our life and create tendencies in our life. But if we just follow our tendencies, our urges without thinking, that means that we are following our mind. But Krishna also gave us intelligence. And if we properly train our intelligence, then we can overcome our urges, and then we can choose a different path. And we can utilize properly what we got. And as a closure, I would like to read something from, as I know, it's from Sachinanda Swami. I have it in Hungarian and I couldn't find the original English one, so I just translate from Hungarian. So he said it's from Sharanagati newsletter, issue number 129. So if someone can find it, I couldn't find this issue. So he said that our problem is that we remain proud. Or we don't turn to Krishna properly. We don't use that. We don't use this fact that we are weak, and we don't understand that we are not so wonderful as we think we are. But when we do this, Krishna sees that. You know, just like as our acharyas said, that Krishna, please be merciful to me. I am the most fallen, and you said that you give your blessings to the most fallen. So my request is the first. So when they said this, it wasn't because it's so fashionable or trendy. They really meant that. And this is when mercy comes, when you are humble. And this is when real kirtan happens. So this is what I wanted to say. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for enlightening us on this topic and showing us all type of variations in this. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. It was really nice class. Thank you for it. I really like your analogy and the description of digital media, like show and stuff. So it's really explained very nicely. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. It was really nice.
Thank you so much for your encouragement.
It was really nicely said. So yeah, thank you.
Devanand Pandit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please accept all Bhakabala obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudeva. Mataji Radha Vinodi, thank you for your honest lecture. Let me be honest too. In this verse, Narada Muni is distressed that the lives of people in the Kali Yuga are very short. Please allow me to share my personal experience. I really hope this experience is unique, at least among Srila Prabhupada's followers. Do you know what conclusion I made after being literally on the verge of life and death some time ago? you know what I really regret right now? I regret that I have wasted a lot of time on austerities and restrictions. I regret not getting certain material pleasures. And you know, I feel myself miserable about it. Can you comment on this?
Well, as our acharyas and Guru Maharaj used to say that material pleasures are temporary and actually won't help us to achieve permanent happiness. And you know, it's a matter of vision how you see Krishna consciousness, because as I experienced, we can see that I have to do austerities, but at the same time, we can see it also inspiration, transcendental happiness, which we can experience. And we can get inspiration, we can get happiness in spiritual life. So it's not that it's full of austerities and, you know, we cannot be happy in our material life, because the process of Krishna consciousness is actually that we can have sense gratification, but in a checked way, how to say, like we can gratify our senses in a way that's connected to Krishna, which will purify us. So it doesn't say that you cannot have nice food. According to our philosophy is that, yes, you can have nice food. Just offer it to Krishna first and take prasadam. Or you like nice music. Yeah, it's not that you have to avoid nice music. You just have to listen to that kind of music which is connected to Krishna, like Maha Mantra. And there are also other types of, not just mantra, there are like devotee bands which sing about spiritual topics. So it's not that we have to suffer in our spiritual life. It just we have to connect everything with Krishna. So our spiritual masters doesn't say that that we cannot have happiness, we cannot have enjoyment. They just say that connect everything with Krishna, and they say that don't be attached to it. That's my realizations about it, or how to say. For me, till now it worked. So that's what I can say. I don't know if it's helpful or not.
Thank you. The second, I have a little request. Please share with me the topic how to hide your belly during Instagram photos.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Hide what?
My belly making Instagram photos. How to have a nice pose. Thank you. I realize this will help me to be happy in Krishna consciousness.
Sorry, I don't remember that that page.
So bad.
But
Hare Krishna.
Sorry for not helping you in achieving a fitness guru position on the internet. But anyway, thank you for your joyful comments.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Radha Vinodini Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to our Gurudev. You know, I was really struck, just like Sukavaha Mataji said about, you know, all those big smiles and, you know, I'm in this beautiful place and the world is wonderful. I'm wonderful. My friends are wonderful. Everything is wonderful. Life couldn't be better kind of smiles. And then after a few days, you read, oh, they were arrested for drunken driving. Oh, they tried to commit suicide. Oh, they were, you know what? I mean, so many things. So we know all this is just a show. And so we, as devotees, at least, we don't try to do all that stuff. My question to you is actually exactly the opposite. When we are in difficulties or when we are facing some challenges and problems, personally, I'm talking about myself, I have the tendency to withdraw, to isolate, and to worry. I feel, oh, if I call up my god sister and tell her, she will also start worrying. She will get stressed. She will, why should I trouble anyone? I should not tell anyone about my problems. I should not discuss my challenges. I should not put this burden on others. And I tend to stew with it bothering my own mind instead of reaching out to God family or taking shelter of this wonderful devotee association, and tend to just get more and more anxious. And then after some time, you know how Maya is, you get more caught up in that. So I was wondering if you have any tips for how to handle such situations so that we can actually take shelter and take guidance from our God brothers and sisters, even in difficult situations, feel that we have family and can open up and share what is going on instead of isolating, withdrawing, and saying, no, no, I shouldn't trouble anyone.
Mhm. Well, I feel a little bit embarrassed because I may not be so experienced, which might be helpful, but I have a few thoughts. One thing which I remember just now. You know, we can turn to friends in these situations. We can turn to seniors. We can turn to the spiritual master. And about the third one, for example, like turning to the spiritual master. I've heard about one occasion, one Mataji in Hungary, who is the disciple of Srila Shivaram Swami. And it happened sometime that she had some kind of difficulty, and she didn't reveal that to Shivaram Maharaj. And after some time, somehow he found out, probably the Mataji admitted after some time. And actually, Shivaram Maharaj scolded her because he said that, how should I find out that you need guidance, that you need support, you need shelter, if you don't reveal that to me? And this is my service to my Guru and to Krishna, to take care of you. And, you know, it's a totally different vision of the same thing, that actually when we don't reveal our difficulties, that other devotees who are responsible for us, they have difficulties to properly do their services. And another thing is that when we hear about that revealing our mind confidentially and asking others confidentially, so this helps to deepen our loving relationships. So I totally understand what you said, because many times I used to fear that when I turn to someone with request or with my problems, that I'm kind of like a burden to the other person. So I used to fear this, and probably I still fear this kind of problem, that I also have this tendency to isolate myself. But many times these are the possibilities to deepen a relationship, because the trust will be deeper than before. And yeah, actually these are what came to my mind now. I don't know if it was helpful or not, but sorry, I'm not so experienced.
No, it's nice to hear what you're telling about Shivram Maharaj and his disciple, because many times I think, oh my gosh, how can I trouble Guru Maharaj with this? This seems so silly, or this seems so mundane, or this is just so material and I should not trouble him with it. Then another time I think, oh, if I call up my god sisters and tell them, oh, I'm having this difficulty, they'll think, oh my gosh, this Mataji, she only seems to be having problems all the time. When she picks up the phone to talk to us, she's only ready to just give all her problems to me. So that's another fear I have, that I should not, be a burden and a nuisance, to my God family. So these are the things that sometimes I think that hold me back, at least.
Mhm. Yeah, I can totally understand this. Actually, lately I started to, how to say, I found a new friend amongst the devotees, and we just start to develop our relationship lately. And it's so interesting because I just realized that probably I didn't really have really didn't have a real friendship amongst the devotees till now. And now, just doing these first steps with her, I encounter those kind of basic steps which help every relationship move forward. And one of them was like, I was so surprised that at one time she said that she revealed some kind of something which she considered bad qualities in her. And, I just imitated something from Vishnupriya and Nitya Kishori are my mentors in the God family. And so many times I revealed something to them, which I experienced in myself, some negative quality, some bad quality. And as I saw that they didn't judge, they helped to give advice or something like that, but they always accepted me as I am. And it was such a nice feeling that I just remember that, okay, I really want to approach this Mataji, this new friend of mine, in the same way. And, I experienced just the other way around, that she revealed that how grateful she was that I accept her as she is.
As she is.
And this is how trust is built. And obviously, it cannot be with everyone, but if we find someone who really accepts us as we are, then it's not a problem. It's really not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem, I would say. So.
Thank you. So expect some phone calls, Radha Vinodini.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your trust that I can say something.
Thank you so much.
Any more questions or comments? Sridevi Mataji, you can call me anytime. I don't mind.
Thank you. I was beginning to worry that maybe I'm beginning to bore you stiff with my complaints.
No.
Thank you. Very grateful for all of you. Thank you so much.
We are also grateful to you. You know that, I hope.
I can't imagine why. Honestly.
You don't have to imagine. We just
Yeah, we have our own reasons. Okay, dear devotees, if there are no more questions or comments, I think we can end the call here. Thank you so much, Radha Vinodini Mataji, for this class and for such a nice topic. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, devotees, for participating. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyevacha patitalam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. The Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai,
Jai.
Radha Vinodini Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Bhaktalinda ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you for the class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.